Taking a look outside as our day begins to heat up, lots of sunshine. It is a WRAL weather alert day for intense heat. I'll show you how hot it will feel where you are.
Staying safe in the heat. Local hospitals are treating people for heat-related illnesses. We'll talk about who's most vulnerable and the signs that you should look out for.
Awaiting word from Cooper. The former North Carolina governor is expected to launch his campaign.
And it's any day now. We'll talk about his possible candidacy. So thank you so much for joining us here on your...
I think we may have a little issue there with your microphone there, Laura. That's okay. We'll get that fixed in just a second here. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on this Monday morning. I'm Chris Leminga. Laura Levine will join us again in just a second. We really want to talk about that weather maker, though, Elizabeth. That is something that is going to be on the minds of a lot of people as they walk outside and, I don't know, just not feel so great with that heat warning that's in place, too.
You know, we have long, hot summers here in North Carolina, but this summer we've had multiple times where the heat has gotten to the point where it's dangerous. We have an extreme heat warning that's in effect for today because of this high heat index. And the reason the heat index gets high is because of the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. The more moisture in the atmosphere, the less efficiently our bodies cool themselves. So it just feels hotter than it really is. It's going to feel like 103 by 11 a.m. It'll feel like around 111 in the middle of the afternoon. Still feeling really hot by 8 p.m. So walking the dog, make sure that you're walking them on the grass and not on the asphalt where it's dark and can hold all of that heat. We do have a small chance for thunderstorms this afternoon. Of course, last night we ended up with some storms that produced some wind damage and some trees down, and we had some power outages. Our chances for that much less today, but we do have a 30% chance. We'll walk through that on Futurecast. We also have a cold front that will deliver some much more refreshing air later in the week. I'll show you when that arrives. Coming up, Jeff.
Take you out for a live look here on our Monday morning. This is the I-540 Aviation Parkway right now. Things looking pretty smooth as volume begins to build here and continues to build throughout our morning. New crash icon popped up as you see right around the belt line there. I'm going to look into that because that is just in the last couple of minutes that came up. I do want to show you some good news here. We had shown you this intersection, Tryon Road, Southeast Cary Parkway. It is yellow, moving slowly right there, but the crash icon is gone, so that has cleared out of that area there. We expect it to be rolling along just fine right now. This will be a slow spot for you. Lead Mine Road, northbound direction right there. Serious crash right at Millbrook Road. That was holding up and still is holding up some traffic there, but it's moved from red to yellow. So that is gaining ground just a little bit. Live look New Bern Avenue. These usual delays on the belt line right here. Just slow going there up towards Brentwood Road. Check us out if you're headed out the doors. Listen to us on the radio for any updates. 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Jeff. So as we begin our week in triple-digit temperatures, local hospitals are seeing an increase in heat-related illnesses. Let's go ahead and bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's live at UNC Rex this morning. And Kelsey, I mean, today is the day people definitely want to be careful. What are some things they should watch out for while outside?
Yes, Chris, it most certainly is the day where folks need to be careful. And we spoke with the head of the emergency department here at UNC Rex about how heat can impact your health. Heat is the #1 weather-related killer in the country. Now, we just heard in the forecast a little bit earlier that the feel-like temperature could be up to 115 degrees, and we're just hours away from another extreme heat warning going into effect. You have to protect yourself from these dangerously high temperatures. Here are some of the signs of heat stroke: confusion, dizziness, and passing out. If you or someone you love is experiencing any of these symptoms, call 911. Dr. Ryan Lamb from UNC Rex says older adults can be more at risk for heat stroke, and here's why.
As people get older in particular, our ability to cool itself, our body's ability, doesn't work as well. It's a very complex interaction between your nerves, your blood vessels, your muscle, your breathing, and all the flow of your blood.
Children and people who have pre-existing conditions like diabetes and COPD are also more at risk for heat stroke. Dr. Lamb says the hospital sees the most cases of heat illness in folks who have some type of pre-existing condition. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And folks, just a reminder, you can track the rising temperatures with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download from your phone's app store. Just make sure you turn on push notifications so you can get important weather alerts sent right to your home screen.
Well, power is now back on for hundreds of people who lost it during overnight storms in Johnston County. The WRAL breaking news tracker was in the area of Polenta and Raleigh Road, southwest of Clayton. A traffic light was out there. Linemen say a tree limb fell and damaged a power line. Crews were able to get the power restored just after 5 this morning.
All eyes are on former North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, as the Democrat is expected to officially announce his bid for the U.S. Senate as early as today. Cooper strongly hinted at that announcement on Saturday during a Democratic fundraiser. During that dinner, he took swipes at Republicans in D.C. and the president's agenda. The Republican Party called Cooper an elitist and a career politician in response. But WRAL state government editor Jack Hagel says this is the Democrats' best chance at winning a U.S. Senate seat since 2008.
Cooper's undefeated in statewide races. Remember, he was a 2-term governor, before that attorney general, and then before that he served in the state legislature. So here's a guy who knows how to fundraise, knows how to campaign, and also remain popular in a purple state.
And Cooper is expected to run for the seat Republican Tom Tillis is vacating. He announced that he would not seek re-election. And WRAL is watching the 2026 election in North Carolina as it develops, which is why we'll have the latest on Cooper's pending announcement on our evening newscast from 4 to 7:30.
Lawmakers in Raleigh are bracing for a veto showdown as both the state House and Senate are expected to return to session this week. Now, Republicans in both chambers are looking to override at least some of Governor Josh Stein's vetoes. Stein has vetoed 14 bills while in office. Those bills include efforts by Republicans to loosen gun laws, ban DEI in schools and state agencies, and require city, county, and state government officials to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement efforts. The WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie says the votes on bills like DEI will not only be a test for Republicans, but Democrats as well.
A lot of these passed on very strict party lines. Those are the ones that House Democrats could block an override of if they all stick together. But some other of these bills got some Democratic votes. So it's going to be a question of whether or not Democrats are willing to come back to the party to uphold the governor's veto, or whether they're going to go with the Republican majority and pass the bill again.
Republicans will need the support of at least one Democrat in the House to override any of Stein's vetoes. Votes are expected tomorrow. Breaking news now. At least one person is dead and several others are hurt after an overnight mass shooting in Atlanta. Police say the shooting happened around 1:30 this morning along a popular nightlife strip. 11 people were shot. A 27-year-old man was killed. The other 10 victims range in the age from 18 to 29. Officers are unable to confirm if there were multiple shooters.
The trooper has serious injuries because State Highway Patrol says a driver intentionally slammed into the trooper's SUV, and that happened during a high-speed chase in Davie County. Highway Patrol says 26-year-old Luis Almanzo was chased on I-40, and at one point, speeds reached 140 miles per hour. Almanzo reportedly swerved and slammed into a trooper's SUV parked in the median, and the SUV flipped over. The trooper was identified as Houston Holcomb, and Almanza faces multiple felony charges.
This morning, we are getting a new look at this business here that was hit during a string of break-ins. The thief was inside for just a few seconds, but the break-in caused hundreds of dollars in damage, and the thief made off with thousands of dollars of equipment. This all happened at Yours Durham. That's a film camera shop and studio on North Gregson Street. The shop's owner says it happened early Friday morning. He thought it was an isolated incident until he saw more video showing a string of similar break-ins in the downtown Durham area.
Like, this is not a sophisticated job. It's someone who needs help. So with all of this, I'm confident that they'll end up catching this person.
Durham police haven't confirmed if the incident is connected to recent break-ins at Luella Wine Bar and Beverage and the Durham Beer Garden. So far, no arrests have been made.
Your time is 8:09. Deadly crash. A teenager was killed and 2 more were hurt in Wake County. Here are neighbors' concerns about road safety in that area.
And passenger evacuation. People forced to use the emergency slide to get off a plane on the runway. What the airline says caused the scary situation.
Extreme heat warning in effect for most of our viewing area for this afternoon. It could feel like 110 to 115, but I'll show you when a cold front arrives and brings those temperatures back down.
Breaking in the WRAL Live Center, former Governor Roy Cooper has announced that he is officially in the race for the U.S. Senate seat. He posted on Facebook just 15 minutes ago and said, I have thought on it and prayed about it, and I have decided I am running to be the next U.S. Senator from North Carolina. The Democrat is undefeated in statewide elections. He's considered the early front runner for his party's nomination. Former Congressman Wiley Nickel is the only other Democrat in this Senate race. WRAL reported Friday that he's expected to suspend his campaign and endorse Cooper this week. Now, the race is expected to be closely watched, one of the most closely watched races in 2026, with Tom Tillis saying that he will not run for re-election. Republican National Committee Chairman Michael Whatley is expected to run on the GOP side. He earned President Trump's blessing last week. But just within the last few minutes, Roy Cooper saying he is running for the U.S. Senate.
Here at 8:13, heat alerts. Of course, we have an extreme heat warning that's in effect for most of the viewing area, a heat advisory for some of our northern counties. It's going to feel as hot as 110 to 115 across the area this afternoon. And of course, we do have long, hot summers, but there are those days where you really need to take it easy. And today's one of them. Garner Tower looking pretty this morning, partly cloudy, 79. Starting to see the temperatures climb. Dew point dropped to 1 degree. That's good news, but we are likely to keep that dew point in the low to mid 70s, and that means a high heat index. Right now, it's 77 in Southern Pines, already 81 in Fayetteville, 78 in South Hill. Heat index could feel as hot as 110 to 111, and the Triangle could feel like up to 115 in some of our southern counties. We do have a small chance for thunderstorms this afternoon, 20 to 30%, depending on time of day. During the evening, it's a slightly larger chance. Yesterday, of course, we had some severe storms that produced some damage. That's unlikely today, but boy, still a few scattered storms and hot with a high of 98. Jeff?
8:14 is the time right now, and we have had quite the uptick in crashes around the Triangle and beyond, the most serious of which that's going to affect the most amount of people. I want to take you right to this crash that has 2 lanes blocked, I-40 in the eastbound direction. You see where it's coming right up towards Durham Freeway and 885 and all that. That is red, stopped traffic out there. That's the biggest incident. It's going to affect the largest number of people out there. But just outside the Beltline right here, over by Gorman Street, this is a crash. Faircloth Street, southbound direction, right near Hillsborough Street. So if you're trying to make your way through those surface streets and getting over into, get on the Beltline there, that'll slow you down just a little bit this morning.
A teenager is dead and 2 others are hurt after a crash in Wake County, and that happened on Chalk Road near Head and Nook Lane. This was early Saturday morning near Wake Forest. The driver was 17-year-old Jackson Brookert, and he was killed. Troopers say 18-year-old Reese Campbell was in the front seat and another 17-year-old was in the back. They were both taken to the hospital. And a neighbor we spoke with says he's not surprised when he learned where the crash happened.
As soon as they said what happened, I knew exactly where, because I know it's a dangerous curve in the road here. If they have no idea how the road, goes, they lose control of their vehicle, I would imagine.
And I should mention Highway Patrol says speeding was a factor in this crash.
A man is dead after an hours-long standoff in Nightdale. Police say they were called to a home in the Planners Walk subdivision yesterday around 9 a.m. for a welfare check of a suicidal man. When officers got there, that man ran into the home. Officers evacuated several nearby homes. They called in a Wake County Special Response Team and negotiators. After several hours, they went into the home and found the man dead. Police say he had taken his own life. No one else was hurt during the standoff.
Today, President Donald Trump is expected to hold a meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and he's also expected to hold trade talks with China. The president announced the framework for a trade deal with the EU yesterday in Scotland, and he says the EU will purchase $750 billion worth of energy and invest an additional $600 billion in the U.S. This development happened ahead of Friday's deadline to avoid 30% tariffs on European imports.
Scary moments for passengers on American Airlines flight out of Denver. They were forced to slide off the plane on the runway. This video here shows fire and smoke billowing from under this American Airlines plane. 173 passengers and 6 crew members were forced to evacuate using the emergency slide on Saturday. The video shows one passenger falling and slipping as alarms blare. Another video shows what appears to be a tire falling apart and rolling away. The plane was expected to fly from Denver to Miami. The airline says the combination of blown tires and the deceleration of the plane caused a minor brake fire. One passenger described the scary moments.
Well, when I heard the boom, I knew something was wrong. It was a loud noise from under a plane. I knew something serious just happened.
Yeah, something very serious. American Airlines says one passenger was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The FAA is investigating.
Investigators confirm several of the 6 people killed in a Charlotte crash over the weekend were children. A 16-year-old boy was driving an SUV that crashed into a van on I-485 and was killed. 2 adults and 3 children ages 8, 3, and 1 were in the van, and all 5 died. A 16-year-old girl was also in the van, and she was hurt, but she is expected to live. The SUV and van both crashed into a tractor trailer, and the driver for that vehicle was not injured. Today, police in Idaho are investigating what led to a plane crash that killed 3 people. The crash happened last night around 20 minutes west of Boise, and investigators say the aircraft hit a building in a neighborhood. The victims' names, though, have not been released in this case.
One person is dead and 3 others are hurt after a Family Dollar store in Kansas City partially collapsed. Part of the roof and facade of the building collapsed yesterday afternoon. Authorities say the victims were outside of the building. 2 of the people injured were treated and released. A 3rd person was seriously hurt. There is no word yet on what caused the collapse.
A man is facing possible terrorism charges after 11 people were stabbed at a Walmart in Michigan. This happened over the weekend in Traverse City, and deputies say 42-year-old Bradford Gilley was stopped after at least one person confronted him with a gun.
For all of those people that were involved, first of all, I commend them. It's not very often that we have citizens that are willing to step up and take action.
Law enforcement says that Gilley has a prior history of assault, but they have not said what the motive is. At least one victim was released from the hospital.
Animal rescues and shelters across the country are reporting sharp increases in animals being surrendered due to financial hardship. Every aspect of owning a pet, from vet visits to food, has grown expensive in recent years. Many animal shelters say that they have reached a breaking point. Some aren't taking any more animals in because they are full. The American Humane Society says in addition to economic hardships, veterinarian shortages are also driving up care costs.
We do want to get you a look at your weather forecast this morning because it is a WRAL weather alert day, folks. It's going to be hot, and we're not talking about, like, oh, it's hot, make sure you wear something cool. No, it's definitely a day you want to pay attention to, Elizabeth. We're talking about some severe heat.
We are looking at an extreme heat warning for our area for today, and likely to see extreme heat again for tomorrow and even into Wednesday before we start to see much of a break. At RDU this morning, you can see lots of sunshine. That sunshine will heat things up very quickly. We did have a round of thunderstorms yesterday evening, especially from the Triangle area westward. We had some trees down, some power outages. We're not likely to have that same sort of severe risk for today, but we will have the chance of some scattered storms. But what's bringing us all this heat is a high pressure system. High pressure systems have sinking air. That sinking air compresses and warms, creates this big heat dome over us with highs 96 to 100 over the next several days. This is a look at our heat alert map. Of course, an extreme heat warning with heat index up to 115, and then the northern counties sort of surrounding there with orange. A heat advisory up to 108. Tomorrow, that's what we'll see across the viewing area, back down to a heat advisory. That's still something you need to take into consideration if you have to work outside or considering exercise outside. You want to do it as early as you possibly can. Heat is cumulative. Heat's impacts are cumulative on your body, so that means the more days in a row you're subjected to heat, the more likely you are to have some heat-related injuries. 99 at 10 a.m. It'll feel like 99 at 8 p.m. and middle of the afternoon could feel like 110 to 111 in the Triangle. Could feel even hotter than that in some of our southern counties. We'll see partly cloudy skies here on Futurecast up until around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. That's when we begin to see a few isolated cells popping up. Nothing terribly widespread. It's so hot out there, you're probably continuing to water your garden until we get to the end of the week. So Thursday and Friday, we have a better chance for rain. A cold front will actually come through, which is another rare event for us. That cold front's going to usher in some cooler temperatures and bring us a better chance for rain. Take a look at how much of the southeast and the eastern part of the country will be below average as we kick off August, the 2nd through the 6th. We have a good chance of below normal temperatures. But for the next 3 days, we have a weather alert day due to the heat. Once we get into the weekend, it's feeling more comfortable with highs in the mid-80s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Jeff.
Yeah, traffic at 822 right now on your Monday morning commute, and you see some of the crash icons. They're coming and going. They're popping up. Maybe the one that'll slow down the most folks will be this one right right here. This crash is blocking 2 lanes of I-40 in the eastbound direction. You see what those backups look like. And you see the other crash icon right there. So we'll just take you over there right quick and show you this. US 70 Glenwood Avenue is right at Briar Creek Parkway. There's very close to I-540, as you see right there. And I can show you right now a live look, I-540 at Aviation Parkway, because that's not too far from where that crash is. And there's really no delays out there. So things are moving along just fine in both directions right there, I-540. A couple of incidents going on out in Zebulon area right now. This one is at Arundel Avenue right down southbound, right at Dogwood Drive in that area. And very near there as we keep you out east for a look right here, just south of Zebulon. Serious crash right there along Highway 96 in the northbound area, right near Earpsboro Road, if you know where that is. But we're not showing too many delays in that direction right now. 101.5 HD3 is the place to catch us if you're headed out the door.
Baby sleeper concerns. A product for infants is still being sold despite testing that shows it could be dangerous. 5 on Your Side shows you the problem and the company's response.
And shock during a thunderstorm, a Wake County man shared his story as a reminder for the threat that summer storms can pose.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Here's meteorologist Elizabeth Gartner on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. Elizabeth.
Lots of sunshine out there, and temperatures are starting to warm up pretty quickly now. 76 in Wilson, 79 in Durham, and 81 currently in Fayetteville. Of course, today is a WRAL Weather Alert Day because of the heat index. It's going to start to feel like triple digits by around 10 or 11 o'clock this morning, and it'll feel like 103 through 7 p.m., feeling like 110 to 115 across our area. Also, a small chance for showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and evening, but not the same severe threat that we saw yesterday.
Give you a live look right now, I-440, New Bern Avenue. Traffic moving along just fine for this hour of the day. This is normal backups right there, and they're not really. They've moved along. We've seen it worse throughout the morning today, but I'm going to take you out, show you the big picture here because these crash icons have come and gone throughout the morning, but we see where they're sticking right now. This big one here that I want to show you is right up 40 eastbound. That crash has 2 lanes blocked right now and terrible backups in that area.
Former North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper is running for Senate. Cooper made the announcement on social media in the last half hour. Republican Tom Tillis announced last month he will not seek re-election in 2026. A new Durham County Sheriff's Office crime report shows a 26% decrease in the top 8 crimes this year. That includes murders, sex offenses, and robberies. Last month, deputies recovered 17 stolen vehicles, and in the last 6 months, 69 guns were seized. 25 guns were reported stolen, and 17 were recovered. Next on Fox 50, another day of extreme heat is here. Who could be at risk for a heat stroke?
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking within the last 30 minutes here in the WRAL Live Center, Roy Cooper says he has finally decided to run to be the next U.S. Senator from North Carolina. Why he says he is entering the race for the open U.S. Senate seat.
And our intense heat wave continues. It's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. I'll show you how hot it will feel where you are.
Dangerous heat. As the temperature rises, so does the risk of heat-related illnesses. The precautions people with pre-existing conditions need to watch out for during this hot weather. Things are certainly heating up on your Monday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Laura Levine in for Michelle McConaughey this morning.
I'm Chris Lovingood.
An extreme heat wave will bring dangerous temperatures throughout the week. It's why we do have a WRAL Weather Alert Day.
Yeah, it's definitely a day you want to make sure you pay attention outside, folks, because the heat, besides anyway, we could see some pop-up storms.
Yes.
Now, we do want to show you some video of last night's lightning from our Garner Tower cam. This woke me up yesterday. Was not fun. Tried to get some sleep for this morning shift, though, but we want to transition over to our weather forecast with Elizabeth Gardner, tracking again the heat and possible storms. Kind of a mixed bag today.
It is. And, you know, we have long, hot summers here in North Carolina, but just every once in a while, we have an extreme heat warning, and that is today. Tomorrow, we're under a heat advisory, so that steps us back slightly, but we're still talking about dangerous conditions. Heat index today, 110 to 115. Tomorrow, up to 108. So just lay low if you can, and this will be over before you know it. Once we get to the weekend, a cold front will deliver us some delightful air. Right now, it's 79. Our dew point's at 73, so lots of moisture in the atmosphere. That gives us that high heat index. Almost 80 in the Triangle, 81 in Fayetteville, and 79 in South Hill right now. Heat index kicks in by the middle of the morning, but it'll feel like 110 to 111 through the middle to latter part of the afternoon in the Triangle, and it could feel even hotter than that down around Fayetteville and Clinton. A 30% chance of some scattered thunderstorms later on this evening. Not looking at the same severe threat that we saw yesterday. Yesterday, we had some stronger storms that produced some wind damage. Today, just a few pop-up cells. Jeff?
Yeah, waiting for that more delightful air. Also waiting for some of these crashes to clear up because they're causing some problems out there this morning. You see how many crash icons that we have up right now, but the one we're focusing on for certain is this crash that's got 2 lanes blocked on I-40 in the eastbound direction, causing some major backups right there. And another crash icon in this frame, even you can see, not causing too terrible backups. You see that has turned yellow though, so as volume builds here this morning, Glenwood Avenue, Briar Creek Parkway, that is starting to ramp up on some of those slowdowns in that area. Around the Beltline, things not too bad right now. This is if you're trying to get on the Beltline just south of Wade Avenue. This is right near Gorman Street's intersection there. Faircloth in the southbound direction near Hillsborough Street. Crash holding people up right there. Also, take you all the way out east right now because this crash here north of Rendell Avenue in the southbound direction is starting to cause some backups as we see there. 101.5 HD3 if you're headed out the door, listen to us on the radio.
All right, thank you, Jeff. We do want to get back to that breaking news. Within the last hour, former Governor Roy Cooper has officially announced his run for senator. WRAL's Renee Chu broke that in the Live Center. And so, Renee, what is Cooper saying about entering the race now?
Well, Chris, former Governor Roy Cooper, we've been used to referring to Roy Cooper as governor for 8 years. Well, now he wants to be U.S. Senator Roy Cooper. He made it official on social platforms here just within the last hour, posting this 2.5-minute video on Facebook. And in it, he says why he wants to run for U.S. Senate now.
Right now, our country's facing a moment as fragile as any I can remember. And the decisions we make in the next election will determine if we even have a middle class in America anymore.
Cooper goes on to say he never really wanted to go to Washington, but he says these are not ordinary times. And he said, quote, "I've had enough." Cooper is 68 years old. He becomes a favorite to win the Democratic Party's nomination in the March primary. Former U.S. Representative Wiley Nickel, the only other Democrat in the race, is expected to suspend his campaign this week and endorse Cooper. Now, on the GOP side, Republican National Committee Chairman Michael Whatley is expected to run. Republicans are hoping to hang on to the seat that was vacated by U.S. Senator Tom Tillis. Democrats have not won a U.S. Senate seat in North Carolina since 2008. This is definitely going to be one to watch across the country.
It sure will. Thank you, Renee. Today's heat index values are expected to be in the triple digits. Temperatures this hot could cause life-threatening heat-related illnesses. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is now live at UNC Rex with the signs to watch out for and how to stay safe out there. Kelsey, good morning.
Laura, good morning. We spoke with the head of the emergency department here at UNC Rex about how heat can impact your health. Heat is the #1 weather-related killer in our country. And you just heard during the forecast that the heat index could reach up to 115 degrees today. We're just a few hours away from another extreme heat warning going into effect. So you have to protect yourself from these dangerously high temperatures. Here are some of the signs of heat stroke: confusion, dizziness, and passing out. If you or someone you love is experiencing any of these symptoms, call 911. Dr. Ryan Lamb with UNC Rex says children and older adults can be more at risk for heat stroke. He explains what to watch out for.
So it's trying to pay attention for those clues that people, maybe they seem like they have less energy. They're, changing in their sweating habits. They're less active. They look nauseated. real bright red to their skin.
People who have pre-existing conditions like diabetes, COPD, and congestive heart failure are all more at risk for heat stroke as well. Dr. Lamb says that the hospital actually sees the most cases of heat-related illnesses in folks who have some type of pre-existing condition. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And you can track the rising temperatures with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download from your phone's app store. Make sure to turn on push notifications so you can get important weather alerts sent right to your phone.
Power is back on for hundreds of people in Johnston County, and the WRAL breaking news tracker was at Polenta and Raleigh Roads, southwest of Clayton. That's where a traffic light was out after an overnight outage. Linemen say a tree limb fell on that damaged power line there, and teams were able to get the power restored just shy of 5 o'clock this morning.
New this morning, violent crime seems to be down in Durham in the first 6 months of this year. And that's according to new numbers from the Durham County Sheriff's Office. So far this year, the Sheriff's Office has reported a 26 decrease in the top 8 crimes. That includes murders, sex offenses, and robberies. Last month alone, deputies recovered a total of 17 stolen vehicles across the county. 69 guns were seized in the first 6 months of the year. 25 guns were reported stolen and 17 were recovered or found.
A Sampson County grocery store is cleaning up after an SUV crashed into it. You can see the aftermath here on your screen. This happened yesterday on Sunset Avenue in Clinton. And video from the WRAL breaking news tracker showed you that shattered storefront of Carly C's Grocery. An employee told us the driver was hurt, but no one inside the store was injured.
Some state parks across our area are set to reopen this week after facing significant storm damage from Chantal. Director of NC State Parks Brian Strong says some trails and boat ramps are slowly reopening as debris is cleared. But other parks are closed and could remain closed for a while because of the widespread damage. For more information about which parks are back open and which remain closed, you can head to WRAL.com and search Chantal Parks.
Detectives are trying to find the person who killed a married couple in Arkansas, and they were found dead on a trail at a state park. This happened Saturday afternoon. Authorities say Clinton and Kristen Brink were hiking in Devil's Den State Park with their 2 daughters, but it's unclear how the couple died. There's no word yet on the manner of or cause of death, but we do know the girls were found unharmed. Detectives hope cell phone and security video can help them locate the killer.
Humanitarian airdrops have resumed in Gaza. Israel has declared a daily 10-hour pause in fighting in parts of Gaza to facilitate safe delivery of aid. Yesterday, the UAE and Jordan dropped about 25 tons of food and relief supplies in western Gaza. Israel is also creating secure routes for aid convoys to deliver food and medicine.
The U.S. reportedly signed an agreement with Qatar outlining the terms of the Boeing jet that it's giving the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and his Qatari counterpart signed that agreement, and it says the plane is an unconditional donation and the U.S. will not pay for it. The plane is expected to be used as Air Force One for the president, but it would need to be upgraded, and analysts predict that could cost taxpayers $1 billion. Insurance company Alliance Life says that hackers stole personal information from the majority of its customer base. And financial professionals and some employees had their information compromised as well. Alliance says the hack was discovered 2 weeks ago, but it is working with the FBI and has started reaching out to the people who were affected. Alliance Life has nearly 1.5 million U.S. customers.
This year's GalaxyCon has come to an end after a successful 4-day run. Despite the 100-degree temperatures on Fayetteville Street, plenty of sci-fi and fantasy fans enjoyed the brand new Street Fest. We saw them shopping for souvenirs, getting food, and finding ways to stay cool.
I've got a water bottle with me in this bag. It's a insulated water bottle. I like that they have a lot of food trucks and a lot of options for drinks, food, anything like that.
Just taking a lot of breaks, drinking like water, Gatorade, and going inside sometimes.
Using this, drinking some cool drinks, staying in the shade when I can.
It's the way to do it. WRAL is a proud media partner of this hugely popular downtown Raleigh event.
Your time is 8:40. Shocked by lightning. Yeah, Gamer got quite the shock during a recent live stream. We'll talk about what he felt moments after he says that he felt the shock.
And sleep safety. Consumer Reports sounds the alarm about a popular baby bassinet, why parents should avoid adding it to their cart.
And we do want to give you a live look at the White Lake cam that we have here, folks. You see the headline there, dangerous heat. It is not going away just yet, which is why meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will explain how long it'll last throughout the week.
844, it's pretty dirty you this morning. Lots of sunshine, but you know what that means. It's going to heat up quickly. Already at 80 in Cary, 81 in Fayetteville, 82 Holly Springs, 80 in Goldsboro. Our heat index will start to feel like triple digits sometime between 10 and 11 o'clock. So that's right around the corner. Look at these triple digit temperatures really all through the day, especially between, say, 3 and 5 o'clock. It's going to feel like 110 to 111 in the Triangle. Could feel more like up to 115 in some of our southern counties. Now, last night we had a round of severe storms. It's less likely to be severe today, but just a 30% chance. A few cells popping up late this afternoon and into the evening. Summer camp planner, hopefully they'll get the kids in the pool early, this afternoon with that chance of some scattered storms and those really hot temperatures. It may be even too hot to be at the pool. Jeff?
Elizabeth, thanks for that. I-40 at New Bern Avenue. This is the live look of what's happening right now out there. But I want to take you to the big map here and show you that some of these crash icons have cleared up just a little bit, but we've added some others. This problem over in Durham on I-40 in the eastbound direction. No more crash icon showing up there, but delays are still there. So that has been moved off to the side. I take you to a serious crash right now off of New Bern Avenue in the eastbound direction. I showed you that live camera there, so not having very much of an effect right there, right near North Rogers Lane, as you see where that's coming in. But also popped up to our north up by Wake Forest, this crash right here. Falls of Noose Road, Old Falls of Noose Road, right at the intersection there, not slowing many people down right now.
Testing shows serious safety concerns with the popular baby product still on the market. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows us the problem discovered by Consumer Reports.
Okay, the safest sleep setup for infants is a flat, firm surface with no pillows, blankets, bumpers, or inclines. So when online reviews and incident reports claimed the Halo Bassinet Flex portable bassinet tilted dangerously to one side, Consumer Reports tested it out. The results confirmed what parents were seeing. When a weight is placed inside the bassinet, the sleep surface is not flat.
A bassinet that tilts can be dangerous if a baby rolls into a corner or ends up face down.
The Halo Bassinet Flex portable bassinet has not been recalled. And the company told Consumer Reports it stands by the safety of its product and does not intend to recall it. If you are in search of a top-rated and safe bassinet for your baby, Consumer Reports has a full list of ones they test themselves. We have links to their top-rated products on our website. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
A Wake County gamer says that he was shocked during a thunderstorm, and that moment was caught on camera during his live stream. Christian Howard was streaming on Twitch this month when this happened, and he says he was wearing earbuds partially made from metal when he felt heavy pressure and then a shock in his ears.
Yeah, when I watch it back, I'm just very surprised. If you were to take like a gum strip gag toy and just pull it, and you get that little zap, I got both the sensations, then all my vision went white, and then I bolted.
Now, Howard says he was not seriously hurt, and our WRAL weather team says during an electrical storm, you don't want to use any device that's attached to a light or electrical socket.
Cookie Monster takes a bite out of NASCAR and Keanu Reeves' heavenly role.
Yeah, let's take a look at what's trending this morning. The beloved Sesame Street character Cookie Monster made an appearance at the Brickyard 400 as the Grand Marshal. Cookie Monster said the opportunity to be part of that race in Indianapolis was the thrill of a lifetime. And this is all part of Sesame Street's Road Trip Across America campaign to bring communities together.
I'm sure Cookie Monster had a time out there. That is really fun.
He's having a good time. Probably handed out cookie to all the drivers.
Oh, you know it. Meanwhile, Keanu Reeves has been a time traveler and has been an action hero, but now he's taking on the role of an angel. A new trailer for the comedy Good Fortune is out now. Reeves plays a guardian angel whose mission goes sideways. The movie hits theaters on October 17th. Okay, Chris, it's really going to be different to see him playing in a comedy, right?
Well, I mean, he's got the, what is it, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
Yeah.
and then he did some serious stuff, obviously, and then now we have more comedy. So I will always take some Keanu Reeves fun
I
stuff.
think it's going to be really funny. Keke Palmer is also in the movie.
Oh, see,
Yep.
that's an automatic watch right there. All right, the death of a heavy metal legend is not keeping him off the music charts.
Not at all. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Ozzy Osbourne fans are keeping his legacy alive.
Osbourne died July 22nd at age 76. Now his 2003 compilation album, The Essential Ozzy Osbourne, has risen from number 134 on the Billboard 200 all the way to number 7. It's his 10th top 10 album and the first time that record has cracked the top 10. Its previous peak was number 81.
Really good.
Yeah, almost as good as a man.
A Bend It Like Beckham sequel is in the works. Deadline reports writer-director Gurinder Chadha says she's been toying with the idea for a couple of years as the popularity of women's football has soared worldwide, and she's excited to revisit the original characters and build on the film's legacy.
I tried to show him that wealth wouldn't solve all his problems.
And?
It seems to have solved most of his problems.
Keanu Reeves is an angel whose object lesson goes awry in Good Fortune. Writer-director Aziz Ansari is a struggling gig worker who switches places with a venture capitalist played by Seth Rogen. Good Fortune arrives in theaters October 17th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
You know, we've heard people talking about just how hot it is, but I mean, it's definitely a different level today.
Absolutely. And when you add in the humidity, it's too much to handle. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the tips for us. And Elizabeth, just another, we're talking about what, the fourth straight day of the heat advisories?
Yeah, we're looking at all the way through, say, Wednesday in order to, before we start to see much of a change in our intense heat. So we're going to see the heat index anywhere from 105 to 110, maybe even up to 115 in some of our southern counties, at least through Wednesday. We'll take a look at our Garner Tower. Things are looking pretty out there. It's almost 80 degrees right now, but the dew point is the key. That dew point at 73, 74 means there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and that gives us that high heat index, and that gives us our extreme heat warning that is in effect for pretty much the entire viewing area, feeling like up to 115. The orange shaded area is a heat advisory. That's for a few of our northern counties, and all of us will be under that heat advisory for tomorrow. So that brings things down slightly, but you have to remember that heat's impacts on your bodies are cumulative. The more days that you're exposed to the heat, the more likely you are to have a heat-related injury. Our temperatures this afternoon range from the mid-90s in the north to as hot as 100 in Fayetteville this afternoon, and that's without the heat index. Here's a look at the heat index for the Triangle. It climbs on up into the triple digits by 10 or 11 o'clock this morning and lasts until about 8 p.m. We're looking at Triangle area at 110 to 111, but it could be even higher than that in some of our southern counties. It'll bounce back and forth a little bit. Tuesday 106, 111, Wednesday 110, Thursday, and then after that we should see a nice drop in the heat index. But in the meantime, if you do have to work outside, I'm sure that you have your routines down. You know, it's a long, hot summer. People are used to dealing with this. But, you know, a few days like today are going to put you in the danger zone. So make sure you're drinking lots of water, taking those breaks, anything that you can do to stay healthy out there. We do have the potential for a few isolated storms. Probably not going to be enough to really cool things down at all. Around mid to late afternoon, we start to see a few cells pop up across the area. Now, yesterday, some of those cells produced some wind damage and some power outages. That's less likely for today. 3 days in a row, WRAL weather alert day. Thursday, we'll have a better chance for rain along with Friday. We're going to see a cold front that comes through. Look at that, dropping our highs back into the mid 80s. That puts us down below normal. Coming up in just a little while, I'll show you how long we might see those below normal temperatures.
And before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. And we'll get another check on the weather and traffic up next.